So Ma Kali is always intense in all her forms. It's my opinion is that she's never without, even the softest forms still have that intensity. And there is a very beautiful statement Sri Aurobindo used to make, and I completely agree with that. So he used to say, if you really, you have to be very strong in your mind and heart to love Kali. So that is why she was called to be the mother of the Veeras. Here, Veera need not always be somebody taking a sword and going out and fighting, but somebody who has the capacity to fight back against any challenges that life throws at you. So you get back down and you get up and you fight again. And you fight again and you fight again till you are the one who is left victorious. That attitude, if a person has, is fit to worship Ma Kali and go very deep in the worship. So Sri Aurobindo is to say, when Kali enters your life, properly, if you allow her to enter, he uses a very interesting phrase. If you allow her to enter, which means that she also sees that whether you have called on her or not. So if you have not sincerely called on her, if your devotion is not that, uh, there is a superficial devotion possible. And suppose you are one of those people who are mad about Ma Kali, completely, genuinely mad, and you've called on her, so she can ensure that even in months, you will make spiritual progress that might have taken you 30, 40 years. But the path will be tough.
Why?
Because that is her nature. She is not at all a soft deity. She will, it's like, how would I put it? In a second, in 3 to 4 months, she may combine together the spiritual growth that would have happened in decades. But in order for that to happen, you'll have to undergo pain also.
Emotional pain.
Whatever it is, because the karmas have to be cleared. Without clearing karmas, you cannot go ahead. So that is why one of the things we say is that to worship Ma Kali, you must have that attitude of the Veera. That is the Veera who, as I just now described to you, Veera is the guy who in the fight, it's not, you need not be the best fighter, but you have that attitude that every time I fall down, I'll get up and fight. I'll get up and fight, get up and fight. Till I am the only one standing. Infinite patience, absolute determination. It's not that you will not get hit. Everybody gets hit somewhere or the other. If you're born, you'll get hit. That's the basic rule of life. Okay. So whether you're Gautam Buddha or whether you are an ordinary person does not matter. But the attitude that, okay, I get hit, but I'll still get up and I'll still fight. That attitude somebody has towards life, he is absolutely fit to worship Ma Kali. Now, coming to a more simpler upasana of Kali, if you think that you really like Ma Kali, one of the easy ways is there is a stotram of Ma Kali called the Adya Kali Stotram, which was revealed to a great upasak in Calcutta. Think, I don't remember, it must be in the early 1900s or something. And you put Adya Kali, you'll see the, yes, fifth
Now?
one. So this image that you see of Ma Kali, so this was, if I remember the story correctly, so there was an upasaka who sees in a dream that there is this vigraha of Ma Kali at a certain place, perhaps kept in a garden or somewhere. I don't exactly remember the sequence. And he goes and finds out that vigraha, and then the local archaeologists and all that say that this is very ancient. Look at the vigraha. You don't have vigrahas like this today, even in Bengal also. So it's like few thousand years old. Okay. And then he keeps it in his home, and many powerful and miraculous things happen. And then on the third day, he gets a dream where he's told that it is so powerful that it should be, the Visarjan of the Vigraha should be done into the Ganges. It's not fit to be kept. And he was a little reluctant. Then he had a dream where Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, the great master, he had left his body by then. He comes in the dream, he reveals the stotra of Adya Kali and says that with this stotra, if you worship, it will benefit not just you, lot of other people. And then the Vigraha was again, Visarjan of it was done in the Ganges. There is a temple of Adya Kali in Calcutta also. This stotra of Adya Kali, which is there on the internet, that anybody can do, any number of times you can do. There is absolutely no restriction on anything. It has a blessing in it. And I have seen people, ordinary people, if you keep doing it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, up to you. Just light one diya, sit quietly, look at this picture of Ma Kali or any other good picture of Ma Kali that you like, pray mentally and start doing that stotra. With that, you will connect to her.
Of course. At this point, I will read out the stotra. Is it too long?
It's a bit long, but
How long? Like Hanuman Chalisa long?
Uh, around that maybe.
Oh, okay. I thought it would be like, yeah, open it.
Open it. Let me see if this is the same one. Om Namo Adhyaya Srinu Vaksha Pravakshami Adhyastutra Mahaphalam Ya Patet Satam. This is the one. Vishnu Vallabha.
Can you read it out? Are you
Yeah,
allowed
but
to?
I don't want to read it out now because there are certain processes I do along with it
Okay.
when I do it.
I mean, I'm only going. Is it okay if I just read out the first
Yeah, yeah.
paragraph?
Yeah.
And this is just for the sake of everyone to.
Basically, anybody can read it. That's okay. And once you read it few times, you'll get more fluent in it.
Okay. Om Namah Adhyay
Srinu Vatsa
Shrinu
Prabhakshami Adhyastotram Mahaphalam Ya Patit Sadatang Bhaktya Sa Vishnu Vallava. So basically, once you do the Om Namah Adhyaya, you are bowing to Adhyaya, and then you are Srinu Vatsa Prabhakshami. You're basically that's how the stotra starts, and then you go up. So right at the beginning, it says what are the advantages that will happen that if you chant this stotra.
So, a couple of questions for you. One, what is a stotra? Firstly. Secondly, I know that with mantras, obviously, if you put your emotions into it, it is more powerful. I'm assuming for the sake of one, to put the emotions into it, you need to know the actual meaning of what you're saying. And I'm also assuming that even with stotrams, that's the case.
Yes. So if you know the meaning, it works better. And the meaning is also not that difficult to find out. So in this only say, salutations to Adhyama, the meaning is given here. By listening to the stotra and meditating, then Mrityu Vyadhi, Bhayam, Tasya, all these things are going. Mrityu, Vyadhi, Bhaya, Sab, all this will go away from you and things like that. Okay. The meanings are mentioned here in this website actually. So knowing just stotra is just like the way you do Hanuman Chalisa is the same way. Something you can read out, and the more devotion you have, the faster it acts.
The more devotion you have, the faster it acts.
Yes.
What do you mean by it acts?
Acts means it will have an effect in your life, positive effect.
Okay.
It will help you to connect to Ma Kali.
Now, if I'm doing Bhairav Upasana, I can do this?
Which one? This?
Yes.
Yes, this anybody can do. Adya Stotram is one of those stotras of Ma Kali which anybody can do. Whereas there are Kali mantras, for that you will have to have some upadesh at least from somebody.
And if you don't have the updation, then you try doing, as is the case with the internet users.
So
also.
that is why I say that is like driving without the driving license. The day you get caught, best of luck.
Okay. Scroll down a little bit. This is like Kali Ma's Hanuman Chalisa. For lack of a better. I'm trying to explain to the average every day.
So this is a stotra of prayer to Ma Kali. Anybody can do this, and Adya Kali is like, it's the source of all formations of Kali. It's like the most powerful form of Ma Kali in a way. Adya Kali. Adya means the origin.
What is a stotra?
So stotra is basically a kind of a prayer.
That's it.
Yes. Sometimes it's written in a certain meter, so there could be rhyming schemes inside it, maybe. But fundamentally, it is a prayer to the deity that eulogizes the deity, tells various things, qualities. As you keep reading that stotra, you also visualize, and it helps bring in certain blessings and energies of the deity into your mind, body, and your life. So my opinion is that eventually you connect. So there is no harm in worshipping multiple deities. But even then, there has to be a hierarchy in your mind that whom do you connect to most? And there has to be some kind of a reason behind you why you are worshipping this set of deities.
Wow.
So, for example, even in Tantra, as you go, so if you have to worship Ma Kali, you will have to worship Bhairava also.
Why?
And that is because he prepares you for her sadhana. Intense way, Kali mantra japa, if you have to do some blessings of Bhairava, helps you attain mantra siddhi and go faster in that path. He is the one who creates your mind and body, because Kali's energy, Ma Kali's energy, even the Mahavidya energies are very intense. Just one bhakti upasana is one thing. So this stotra and all that is fine. Suppose you want to do Kali Upasana and you take initiation, you take mantra and you do 1 lakh japa. So there is a 22 akshari Kali mantra, very famous, Dakshina Kali mantra. Okay, this is, that is like, just like the Vaishnavas have their Maha mantra, but this one requires initiation and all that. So it requires 2 mantra anushtans, 1 lakh japa, specific foods you have to eat, specific times of the day you have to do. Intense experiences will start of Ma Kali. In order for your mind and body to be able to sustain that pressure, you will need the blessings of Bhairava Baba.
And a guru.
Guru to hai hi. Guru will tell you this when you start doing it. Okay.
What is the Ma Kali version of the basic Om Bhairavaya mantra that we do?
You can do the Nama mantra from Kalika Nama, but I don't recommend it for people. She is intense, very intense.
Then I won't go down this pathway.
No, you do this stotra, that is for anybody. So that is what, if I'm telling something in public forum here or in my any other place, so I make sure that I'll tell you only that which is safely doable. There is no harm in that stotra. If you keep doing it few days, you'll become more accustomed to it. And then just light one diya, one agarbatti, sit and do. That's all. With devotion. It will bring some positive development in your life. There's no doubt. If you carry in for 3 months, you'll definitely see a stronger connection to Ma Kali.
Why do you not recommend the shorter Kali mantra to everyone?
No, because she's very intense.
Not for everyone.
No, if you are, I don't know how your karmas are lined. Suppose you are somebody who has had some contact with Ma Kali somewhere and you start doing it and she comes in a full intensity. She's there. She's like that. She's the most, I don't know, most fiercest of all deities. No other deity, nobody, male, female, nothing. When she gets into form, it is like it's a battle. She is that types. And only thing that the Upasaka can do, eventually the higher ranges of Kali, you just put your feet down at her, your head at her feet and say, bas. That's all. Surrender.
When it comes to the Bhairav Upasana that I am doing and that many people are doing, I believe an effect that it's had on me, and it may be my own conscious effort to bring about that change, but I can definitely feel the Upasana helping me with that change, which is that feel a sense of detachment.
Yes. That is the beginning of your recreation of your mind and body. Adhara. And the other thing is, it's just the beginning. So if you carry on Bhairav Upasana for a few years, as you have experiences, you grow more connected to Bhairav Baba, organically he will take you to the right Shakti Upasana. What is fit for you? He loves Shakti Upasana. He loves Shakti Upasana.
By right Shakti Upasana, you mean a different female deity?
Which form of Devi is best suited for individual?
Which is different depending on the personality.
It could be many things. Purvajana Samskara, what you might have done in your past lives, what family you are born in, things like that. So you are not aware of all this information, but he is a deity, so he knows. So what is the best thing for you? And Bhairava loves Shakti Upasana.
It's just an outcome of Bhairav Upasana that you will
natural outcome, but not on day one.
Right.
So if you keep doing it eventually, and you grow deeper into Bhairav Upasana, then he will put in the right thoughts, the right inspiration into you to enter into Shakti Upasana.
So you said that you wouldn't recommend the short Kali mantra to everyone.
No.
Have you met people who have not done any other Upasana, but you feel that, yes, this person is built for the Kali Upasana?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Guys?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Men, women?
Men, women doesn't matter.
Okay.
Men, women doesn't matter.
I'm also assuming it's something in the astrological chart that indicates.
Yeah, that can indicate. Yes, definitely that can indicate. There are some. Plus, also once I meet an individual carefully, so either if I have an intuitive thought about an individual that this has to be, obviously that is if I'm guiding an individual. If I'm not in my mind, if I'm not guiding an individual, then all this doesn't matter. I'll not even utter a word of this. But if I'm guiding an individual and I feel that XYZ individual will do good if he or she chants this specific mantra of Ma Kali, then I may tell that individual. But the thing is that in that case, there's a feedback loop. So I'm guiding means obviously the individual will give me a feedback that, okay, I'm chanting it for so many days, XYZ experience or this is happening. And with that, I can assess if things are all right or not.
So in the same way that the Om Bhairavaya Namaha mantra eventually causes a sense of detachment for beginners like myself, say if one is meant for the Kali mantra and starts the upasana upon that basic Kali mantra
Hmm.
or even the stotram,
Hmm.
what is the personality change in that person?
For most people, most average people, so Kali is fierce. There is a certain degree of ferocity also that will come in. Ferocity, fearlessness, and an intensity. There is an intensity in Kali which is not there in any other form. Ma
Like
Kali.
you.
No, I'm just not ordinary.
There is that intensity in Rajashi Nandi also.
There's just an ordinary person, but Ma Kali's intensity is there. When it enters into an individual, as I keep saying, Kali is that eventually, as you go deeper, it's like you are standing in front of the tornado. वैसे वाला feeling आएगा, and you cannot be scared. Obviously, you will be scared, but you cannot run away. All you do is surrender. She comes with a maximum force. Maximum force. And if you love that, it's like, to go back to that analogy which I was saying. So there are people who enter into a battle. You may or may not be the best warrior, but you have the greatest tenacity. You will get hit, you'll get up, brush off, again start. That attitude, if you have, you'll love Ma Kali and she will love you.
You'll find a lot more people probably suited to Bhairav Upasana, I am assuming.
Yeah. In fact, I was just few days ago, I was talking to some of my students and I was telling the beauty of Baba is that he looks ferocious from the outside. He's very soft-hearted. Ma Kali is not like that, or Ma Tripur Sundar is not like that. Tana is not like that. They will test you to your very DNA. You enter into that domain, so you have to be very clear in your mind how much engagement you want. It is one thing to have bhakti on them, which is what you will do if you have the stotra and all that. And of, say, 1,000 people are doing that stotra, maybe 20 or 30 of them have the karmic right alignment to go deeper into Kali Upasana. Then the Divine Mother Ma Kali only will set the path for them. It's not something I have to worry about. The running of the universe is their job. Okay, so they will set the path that what is the right thing to do and how deeper engagement it will happen and all that. But the other thing with Kali Upasana is to handle her pressure and power. Your Adhara has to be built, as I say, with Bhairav Upasana prepares the Adhara very strongly. She dances around. Adhara means your mind and body has to be very steady.
Nature.
This detachment that you are experiencing, this is the rebuilding of the Adhara. So anything that happens, you are okay, cool, chill, we'll see. You won't panic. Anybody, in fact, don't ask me more details of this, but just by looking at an individual, if you're sitting in a room, there's 10 other people near me, etc., just by looking at the individual, or not even the full part, just the hands of the individual, you can make out ki Aadhar mein kitna power hai, whether they can take Kali Upasana. It is not important to only have experiences. There may be some people I meet when I do retreats and other places, I know that they will have a lot of experiences. It's very evident. They may be psychic also. But only psychic and experience is not spirituality. You must have the ability to digest that power. It opens up and you are seeing this vision, that vision, etc. But your life is a wreck. What is the point? It's the better you stop all that and have lead a normal, non-religious life. You have to have, at no point can you lose control. Only time you lose control is when you reach a very high state and to the Devata. Nothing else below the deity I will lose control to. Not any being, not anybody, nothing. Nothing is worth it. The human birth is very rare. The only thing better than a human birth is that of the divine. उसके आगे पीछे और कुछ नहीं सोचना है. In fact, Ma Kali is so. I remember one incident right now. Once I was doing a retreat there's a place in Bengal, Birbhum district, Sanatan Siddhashram. It's a Baul ashram there. And there's a very great Baul master who runs that ashram. It's a lady Baul master. Srimati Parvati Baul. She kindly allows me to do retreats there. And I was doing a Ganpati retreat. 5 days of Ganpati Upasana, mantra sadhana, mantras that can be done and all that. during that time, I had a very, this was years long back, some encounter with some entity at night one day after the retreat was over and all that.
Love this. Go on.
And it was a bit shocking to my ear. I didn't expect that it would suddenly make an appearance near me. And I woke up and it was, it was a shock to the nervous system. Let's put it this way.
It happened in your dream?
No, I woke up and then saw the thing, etc. So next day I woke up. Next day when sunlight broke and all that. So there was a tremendous. It felt like as if somebody. There was a pain in my body, and it was like a very, very bad pain, and I couldn't even sit. Okay, forget walking or anything. It's as if somebody has beaten you or physically beaten you up. That type of. Okay, and I didn't know what to do because there's some other processes, rituals had to be done, and I couldn't even sit. How will I do the rituals and etc. Whole day passed in a very difficult condition with medicines and this and that I'm taking. I knew it's because of that entity that had made an appearance.
What did it look like, sir?
So, no, leave that aside. Okay.
Loosely, scary.
Scary, yeah, scary.
Male,
Scary,
female?
female. Scary female.
Old, young? Sorry. Go on. I live for these
I know.
sections of the conversation. But go on.
But the best part was next day in the evening, there is a Shaktipitha close by. It's a very ancient temple of Ma Kali, which is known as Konkalitala, we call it. You'll find it in Google also. Right, full right. Yes, this is the Garbhagriha. Okay.
Zoom in.
So this is somebody's putting up the photo of the Garbhagriha. It's just a photo that's kept there. Okay, there's no Vigraha there. And there's a pond. That pond is very sacred.
Where?
It's in the photo. I mean, it's not shown here. Next to it. Okay. But very intensely powerful energy of Ma Kali is in that space. Very intense, very brilliant. I mean, for meditation purposes and other, it's exceptional. So I remember I had visited this place evening with a friend, and with one mala of joba, which is red hibiscus flowers. All I did was went inside and put that. The moment I put that, I felt as if something has been completely removed from me. Immediately, I felt absolutely fine. Like even the doctors and everybody were stunned. Just like as if nothing has happened. Just cured, second, instant. An instant. This specific Ma Kali, I on and off. When I get opportunity, I go there and I meditate and I pray.
Where is it?
It's in Birbhum in Bengal. It's in the same district where Tarapit is also there. There are 5 Shaktipitas there.
How far is this from Kolkata?
There should be few hours, I think, 3-4 hours. Okay, trains are there and cars, etc. But I have been to this place many times for years. I really love this temple, this area. See, this is the beauty of Shakta Upasana. It's not just the Vigraha. The area is important. There's a cremation ground close by. There is a north flowing river close by. It's little desolate. It's the right place for deities like Ma Kali to make their presence felt.
One thing I've come to realize through this series of podcasts with you and Dr. Swoboda and all these guys is that deities also have preferences when it comes to geography.
Yes.
Correct to say?
Correct. Absolutely.
Why do you think Ma Kali has chosen Bengal?
That's difficult for me to say why she has chosen, but one of the reasons though is that I find one interesting thing in the geography of rural Bengal specifically as I go in, which is also there in northern Bihar and those areas. So there's a lot of water bodies. There's a lot of water bodies and there's a lot of greenery in the rural areas. These two, because of water body, what happens is that greenery and there is an outgrowth of certain kinds of trees. In fact, very interestingly, that type of areas become more potent for plus open cremation grounds in very rural deep areas. These type of places become more conducive to certain kinds of Shakti Upasana.